I felt like I was in the middle of the ocean, stormy ocean with waves all around me. I could see the ship. I could see the weight loss ship, but I couldn't get to it. Who better to invest in than yourself? It's just been such a the best investment I've ever made. My confidence has improved 10,000%. My daughter says I'm sassy now. I feel good about myself. I feel good in the clothes I wear, the choices I make. I'm much happier now. It's been such a game changer in me. It's time that you invest in yourself. It really is. It's just time. If you're here watching this and thinking about it, you already know it's time. You already know. And so you just need to do it. Sometimes you just need to jump.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, I have an incredible guest with me who has gone through an amazing transformation, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. So Kelly here joined my program on her weight loss journey. And what happened next was nothing short of absolutely amazing. So in this interview, we're going to dive into her journey, the struggles, the breakthroughs, and the biggest lessons that she's learned along the way. So whether you're on your own transformation journey or just looking for that extra push to take action, stick around. It's going to be powerful. So Kelly, I'm very excited to have you here. Thanks so much for agreeing to do this interview. But let's start from the beginning. Can you just share a little bit about yourself and your journey with weight, health, and confidence?
Sure. I have been overweight the majority of my life. And my sister a couple years ago had the sleeve, and I had been thinking, I'm 51. I've done almost every diet under the sun. Almost every diet. And I started perimenopause, and I couldn't lose weight no matter what I did. And I've always been a curvy person. And so what I used to do to lose weight wasn't working anymore. And it just kept creeping more and more up on the scale. So my sister had sleeve a couple of years ago, and she was successful with it. And I started having some health issues with acid reflux really bad at night. So much so that it was almost like I was waking up drowning. I was aspirating on it. It was really bad. And I thought, at the time I was only 49 then when I started. And I was like, I'm still too young. 49 is still too young to live not comfortable in your body. And to have, it was like, okay, this is the first of health issues that happen because of your weight, really. And fortunately, I wasn't having very many, but my labs were starting to come back pre-diabetes and things, and I didn't want to go down that way. I have a husband and kids, and I want to be there for my kids. And so I met with a local doctor and had gastric bypass in September of 2024. And that gets to where I am today. I was really struggling. And I found Jessica on TikTok. I saw her on TikTok. And I followed Jessica even before even before I had surgery. When I was thinking about it, I started searching on all the social media platforms for other people that have had gastric bypass, because I kind of wanted to see what their journey was like and what their struggles or successes. And, it was another way to research, I would say. And that's where I found Jessica.
Amazing.
And yeah.
And so going back to before the surgery, it sounds like you were struggling for 49 years.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. And when you mentioned earlier that when you hit menopause, everything that you used to do to lose weight no longer worked. And so what exactly was that?
I would do intermittent fasting. I was really successful with in Kelly land. I was really successful with intermittent fasting. I lost probably about 30 pounds doing that, which got me into where I was comfortable, like a size 14, 16. I was comfortable in that. And that didn't work. Exercise, walking didn't work. Bike riding didn't work. Those two are my favorite things. and they didn't work. I even signed up for Weight Watchers and things like that. Nothing was working. Nothing was, my weight would not budge. It wouldn't budge. And I just, I needed a change. I needed a change. Really. I needed to change my whole perspective on what I was doing. And really, I needed to do something for myself, basically.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what exactly was your breaking point? I know you mentioned the health issues were a bit of that, but was there a specific day, a specific moment that you can remember that was the moment that you knew you had to do something different?
I think we took some family pictures. It's amazing when you see yourself in the mirror, you don't really see yourself in a mirror. You don't see what others see, I guess. And we got family pictures back in February, and I didn't even recognize myself. I'd gotten up to about 267, 270, somewhere around there, and I didn't even, and I'm only 5'3". I know a lot of people 267, someone's goal weight right now, and that's fantastic, but I'm only 5'3", and you can really see it when, the more compact you are. And so that was it. I made my appointment in March. I made my appointment with the doctor in March.
Got it.
Yeah.
So like pretty much almost with,
It wasn't what it what my work, it wasn't working. Whatever I was doing wasn't working anymore. And you would think that I probably lived with the acid reflux for about 6 or 8 months, thinking, I quit eating after 6. I bought a wedge pillow that causes you to sleep at an angle. Everything I was supposed to be doing. I had Tums beside my bed. And when I would wake up in the middle of the night with acid reflux, I would eat Tums and then go back to sleep. And it's like, I didn't want to do that anymore. But it took seeing myself the way other people see you, that you're like, well, yeah, I needed to do something. I needed to do something.
got it. Because
Yeah.
it sounds like you saw a version of yourself that you didn't feel like you were.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And so you found me through TikTok, but what made you actually decide to reach out and work with me in particular?
Well, I had the surgery in September, and the support, or I should say, the lack of support I was receiving, I felt so lost. And I felt like I was in the middle of the ocean, and in stormy ocean with waves all around me. I could see the ship. I could see the weight loss ship, but I couldn't get to it. I couldn't. I just didn't know what I was doing, what to do next, kind of thing. I had had their surgery, and it was almost like, okay, good luck, and I was drowning, and I wanted, this was not going to be my one and done. And I wanted to change my life. I did not invest this kind of money, and I did not invest. Let me rephrase that. I wanted to invest in me. And that's what this was. This was for me to better my health. And I wanted to be successful at it. And I came across you one day after surgery, and whatever you said, and honestly, I don't remember what it was right now, but I think you were talking about protein, and you were talking about shakes and all the other protein products. And you said, you talked about being with real food. And that's what I wanted long term. I know in the beginning I had to have the shakes, and fine, that's great.
Yeah.
But I wanted to change my life because what I was doing wasn't working anymore. And if I want to be here for my family and for my future, I needed to change, because what I was doing wasn't working for 40 some odd years, wasn't working. And I wanted it was time for me to take care of me. It was time for me to take care of me.
Yeah.
And so, and I think you were beginning to work with new people. I jumped right on it. I jumped right on it. Yeah.
Well, thanks for having so much faith in me.
Yeah.
And I think what I see a lot with moms in particular is they're scared to invest in themselves. A lot of folks don't prioritize themselves because they're prioritizing everyone else before themselves. And that's part of the reason why they get into this situation.
Yeah. 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 And you feel guilty, even if you take an hour to go exercise, you're like, well, I should be spending time with my kids. But you know what? An hour, you have 23 others, in the day, and your kids want you around. So you're worth spending that 1 hour on yourself exercising, or taking a few minutes in the kitchen when you're cooking dinner to plan your meals for the next day for yourself so that you can be there. But I mean, I get it. It was hard for me to accept that, but I have to. You have to take care of yourself to take care of others. You
Yeah.
have to. Yeah.
And I think something that stood out to me very early about you is that you're very type A, right? You, I mean, but that's who I work best with. Like,
Mhm.
I work best with people that want a plan, want the answers. Like we were talking before this, like data people, like people
Mhm.
that, and I think that's, you mentioned you felt like you were drowning without the support from your doctor's office. I think a lot of people feel that way, but especially like type A folks. And
Mhm.
so I guess, can you talk a little bit more about your personality and how that might have like factored into the type of support you were looking for?
Sure. Well, I don't like to lose that. And even though it's not a game, I know,
Yeah.
but
It is.
if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right, if that makes sense. And I know that it's life. There's not really a right, but there is a right. You don't want to eat poorly, and you want to make sure you're eating what nourishes your new body, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, I didn't really want this is what you have to eat for breakfast and this is what you have, but in the beginning, that is helpful. I really, that is helpful. And how to break it down, protein wise. You need this many proteins a day, and this is a good way to break it down, but that doesn't mean you have to. You can pull from these other categories or whatnot. So I needed almost like a map. I needed like a roadmap to get started. And I felt like I had a roadmap from my surgeon's office that got me through like the first month. But then after I was through my liquid stage and my pureed stage and my soft food stage, then it was nothing. Then I got nothing. And that's when I was like, what do I do? What do I do now? And I just needed, well, I needed my blueprint. I needed something to say, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And with you being there and going, shh, it's okay. I got you. Here, this week, I just want you to do this. It was like, you know, all that turmoil and weight I was putting on myself, like lifted. But
Well,
yes, I didn't realize I was more type A until I met Jessica.
yeah. Well,
And then Jessica not only helps you with your bariatric successes, but also your personal life successes, the aha moments.
yeah, they're extremely connected. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
And so,
yeah.
what were your biggest fears or concerns before joining and working with me?
Uh, Probably, well, my biggest concerns were being successful in eating right, fueling my body correctly, I guess you could say. Um, I think I had stalked you enough on TikTok that I don't really have any concerns about working with you. I
Okay.
really was excited about working with you, and having that opportunity, but I did, and this is going to be sounds silly, but I didn't want to let myself down. I didn't want to start something and then not be successful. Like I didn't want to start working with you and then not be successful at it. But really the only person I wouldn't be successful with is myself. You're just there to help support, you know. But honestly, it was I would say just making sure that I had a commitment with myself to try and do better than what I had been doing, if that
Yep.
makes sense. If
Yep.
that makes sense.
That totally makes sense. And so, what was missing from past attempts that you were hoping that this program could provide?
Mm. I don't know. I don't honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
Uh, Guidance, because I always said try to do things by myself. That would be guidance. Because even with Weight Watchers, I did it online, and so there was really no one to guide me, you know. Or one of the things I like about working with you is we're able to tweak things. If things aren't working, you tweak them. And then we try that for a week and you kind of keep an eye on it and make sure. And if not, we'll meet again and we tweak it. And that's not something that you're able to do when you're not working with somebody one on one, you know, and the plan that you and I work out is for me. It's a plan for me. It's not a plan for a general population. So I know that if it's not working, we talk you adjust it for me to meet my needs and my changes or whatnot.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And so, what were the biggest emotional or mental struggles you faced before joining?
Uh, Believing in myself. That would be the main thing.
Yeah, that's
Believing
fair.
in myself and believing that I could do it. Again, I know that's believing in myself again, um, but that would be, but I mean, believing in myself. I
Okay.
didn't have very good self-esteem, I don't think, in the beginning. I really don't. It's better now.
Yeah.
I don't, I think because I felt like I wasn't being successful in the beginning anyway, and I had no clue what I was doing, that I had no faith in myself that I could do, that I was just gonna fail like I had at every other attempt of weight loss I've ever done. You
Mm,
know,
yeah, that's fair.
I
And
think that was my big struggle.
gotcha. And that's because you're very type A and like, well, I mean, like, and genuinely, like you like certainty and
Hmm.
like knowing what the right thing for you to do is, right?
Hmm.
Like you said earlier, there's going to be many different right ways to do something, but what's the right way for Kelly? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you ever experience before, like surgery, before working with me, emotional eating, stress eating, or binge eating,
Oh,
or anything like
yeah. Emotional eating.
that? Okay,
Yes.
tell me more.
Yeah. Bored, stressed, sad. Yeah. Yep. Hmm. And 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 it was so emotional eating was so bad that I wouldn't stop, if that makes like ice cream. Ice cream is like a hug from the inside to me. I I don't know. And I if I had it in the house, one bowl tasted so good, I'd have two. And really, I know that what a serving size of ice cream is, and each bowl was probably three serving sizes. So if I had two, it was probably I could finish a half a gallon of ice cream in a day. I could if I wanted to. And but I find even if I'm sitting on the couch and bored, I my brain wants to eat.
Yeah.
And but it doesn't, that's one of the big things that's worked with me with this program is I've learned skills that I don't do that anymore.
Hell
I
yeah.
don't do that. That's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know that, but hell
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna say it anyway. Yeah. And so, how did your relationship with food look before this program too?
Oh, well, I had to have surgery. It wasn't I didn't have a very good relationship with food, really. Carbs were my friend and not the good kind, not the good carbs, you know. Sweets, sweets, terrible, terrible with sweets. And I'm not saying I don't have any now because I do every once in a while, but now I do it in moderation. It's not my go-to anymore. It's not my go-to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's not, that doesn't help take care of me. It doesn't help take care of me. Yeah.
How did you think about eating sweets beforehand? Because I think what you just said was a huge.
I didn't even think. Honestly, I didn't even think. It's just what I went to. Automatic. I didn't even think.
Yeah. But now you're thinking.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I have strategies now that I learned through going through your program um and I mean my main thing is I just don't buy them anymore, which drives my family crazy, especially my husband, because he'll say, "We don't have anything sweet to eat in this house." No, sir, we do not. We don't. There's strawberries in there. Eat some strawberries. Go grab some grapes. But no.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's you prioritizing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I do have kids, so they're all teenagers. So if I buy something sweet for them, I make them take it upstairs. I don't even want it downstairs in the part that where I am. I don't want it because I know myself. And if it's there, I'll eat it. I'll
Yeah.
eat it.
Yeah.
So no, I don't even keep it around, which is good. It doesn't tempt me anymore.
Gotcha. And
Of
so,
course, I also find myself more important than I do that cookie. That's only going to make me feel good for about 15 seconds.
yep. Yep.
You know, yeah.
And so that's all the questions about before the program. So you joined the program. How soon after, actually, what was the first positive change that you noticed, whether it was like physical, mental, or emotional?
Probably physical because I don't like to exercise. Didn't,
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 yeah.
didn't.
In the past.
Yes, didn't. I didn't. I did not. I didn't want to sweat. I didn't want to do that. No, I did not enjoy exercising at all. And now I enjoy it. But do I love it? No, no, I don't love it. I don't get those, you know, pheromones or whatever you get that makes you happy after. No, I don't get it. It's something I have to do. Check, I did it.
But you liked
But I
sweating.
found, huh?
You liked sweating.
I do like sweating because sweating is fat cells crying in your body that they're having to leave. Um, but I like to, I have found ways to, because I have to win, I have to be type A. I have found ways to challenge myself. And I like that. I like, even if it's a game, a mental game, whatever it takes to get me to move, honestly. But that is probably that and an emotional. Jessica can tell you, I was a hot mess. I was a hot mess probably my first month emotionally. And I recently went on a cruise and I love cruising. I love cruising. And I chose to do things for myself, meaning exercise. I exercised while I was on the cruise. I made sure I walked everywhere, took stairs, got my steps in and then some. And then what I chose when I was eating, and I don't, if any of your clients have ever traveled or whatnot, I I love trying foods everywhere I go. It's just I'm a foodie at heart. And I did try some things, but I didn't overindulge because I didn't want to come back on the cruise gaining 8 pounds when I work so hard because weight comes off so slowly for me that I didn't want to work so hard to backtrack and it take me forever to get back to where I was pre-cruise. So that's huge. That was huge change in me as well. That I'm taking care of myself and doing what needs to be done for me.
Yeah.
Exercise, eating right, whatnot. That's for me. And that's a big thing.
And
That's
what
a
were
big
some of your other biggest like aha moments or mindset shifts?
Mindful eating. I was brought up with a military dad and we always eat quickly. I mean, I'm just a fast eater, and that has been one of the biggest things for me is mindful eating and taking my time and uh, not automatically going back and getting seconds because I was finding in the beginning that I was eating so quickly that I was all of a sudden going from not full to bam, I'm stuffed. And I don't do that anymore because I've slowed down. I put my fork down and take some bites and almost kind of wait a second. One of the skills that Jessica taught me was I've started reading while I eat. It's at lunch usually because I don't have anyone around me. If my family's there, I'm going to talk with my family. But when I'm by myself, I will read and I will take a bite and read a full page. And then I can have another bite because I was eating so quickly that that point of being full wasn't registering until later when I was stuffed. I didn't wasn't noticing my medium or happy point. And so um that honestly is the biggest thing for me is that mindful eating, really.
Yeah. And it sounds like you have noticed a shift in the way that you think about food, eating, and self-care as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. And can you share any specific wins that you're especially proud of?
I didn't have to buy any new clothes for the cruise because I could shop in my own storage bins underneath my bed. There
Yeah.
was it was and it was funny because it's stuff I haven't worn in years. I'm sure people on here know like you have you have your skinny clothes and then you have your back clothes, quote, and yeah, I was in a 2X, 3X when I started and now I'm in an extra large. But it was all my clothes. Normally I'd have to buy something new for the cruise. I didn't. I had everything was I already had. And it was all my clothes, but it was under in the storage underneath the bed, though someday I'll fit into that clothes. And someday was now. I do that now. And that so awesome.
And you took pictures in your swimsuit.
I did. I did. I wore a bikini. I told Jessica I would, and I did. I wore a bikini. High
Yes.
waist, but it doesn't matter. I was adorable.
Yeah, you really were, for sure.
Yeah.
And how did this program help you shift your mindset about food, weight loss, and self-worth? I know we talked
Everything.
a bit about that, but
Everything. The investment that you make in this program, like it's not just meeting with you on phone calls. Like there's so much information and research that you've done that has been so helpful. Like, I mean, I have a notebook. I print out everything that Jessica gives you. I print it out and I put it in the notebook because I call it my bariatric Bible because it is. I mean, it's like this thick. The cookbook alone is like that thick. Like everything has helped. Everything has. And like I wouldn't be here. I would not have the mindset and the I almost want to say like self positivity, like without your help.
thank
Seriously,
you.
without your help and the roadmap that you laid out with your modules and whatnot that you give us, like I I could not have done it by myself. I could not have. I couldn't, not without your help. And my family has supported me too, but your guidance and help, you will never know how much you help me. You won't. And I know I've told you many times how much I appreciate you, but seriously, like even just the weekly check-ins, so important to me. And I didn't realize how important they were until probably halfway through, where you just shoot a text and just say, "Hey, I'm checking in. How's it going?" Just to know that somebody else cares and wants to know and wants to be helpful and huge. Like you're I need to I need to stop. I'm going to start crying, but
I'm
like it was you will never know. You will never know how much I appreciate you. Really. I could not have done this by myself. This is not the Kelly without you that I would have been. I would probably still be struggling. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
You have made you and your information. such a huge change, such a change in my life.
I
Yeah.
really appreciate that. And hearing that, like hearing you say that is the reason why I do this is that minute that we both just experienced. And I'm gonna replay it when I'm having a bad day.
There you go. Good. Please do. Please do.
Yes. I really appreciate that.
Well, you will never know how much I appreciate you. You just will not, you can't fathom it. Like I would still be drowning. I know I would be.
Yeah.
I know. And now I know that you have set me up for success. And I didn't have that before. And I feel like now I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how do you handle stress and emotions differently now compared to before?
Uh, well, I honestly, I guess now I could say I face them. I just power through it, or find other ways to let go of that stress. One of the modules in it talks about stuff like this, and you come up with your own kind of like, if this happens, instead of emotionally, I'm going to do these things. And
Alternative coping strategies, yeah.
thank you. Yes, yes. And now I either can choose to I walk. I will go for a walk. And while I'm walking, I listen to a podcast or listen to music that's uplifting or something like that. And it helps get my mind off of it. I even do something simple at work. If I'm stressed out at work, I will get up and go get more water, whether I need it or not, just to get up and clear my head and get away from my desk or whatever is causing the stress and go. It helps you clear your head. And it helps you not focus on your previous poorer choices, I guess you could say. But I know I have strategies that I can do that make me feel better, that don't jeopardize all the progress and work that I've done.
Yeah. And I know you've touched on like the coaching, the check-ins, the structure a bit in the modules, but what particular part of the program do you feel like made the biggest difference for you?
Your modules
Okay.
and meeting with you, the combination of both. Because even with meeting with you, we still discuss like you're really good at seeing what's wrong. And then you say, hey, this week I want you to look at module 4, or I want you to look at module 10, or whatever. And then when we meet again, we discuss that module, what worked, what didn't work, things like that. And I think the combination of both of those set me up for success.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then what strategies or tools for the program did you feel like were most impactful and that you're going to use the most?
The mindful,
Mindful
the
eating.
mindful. Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. That has made such a huge difference to me in me being successful and feeling fullness and whatnot. I have been a fast eater my entire life. And for me to be able just to slow down, and sometimes now amongst my friends, I'm the last one done eating, which is surprising in that my stomach is much smaller than everybody else's at the table. But just taking my time and enjoying my food and enjoying the people around me and enjoying conversations now and being present instead of eating quickly. Like previously, I would have a bite of food in my mouth and putting another bite in, and not even enjoying what I was eating and being mindful of what I was eating and how I was feeling, how the food was tasting and all. Totally different now. Totally different. Savoring. I really savor what I eat.
Mm.
Of course, now I'm also making choices of eating things that I would enjoy instead of just eating what's there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When I fix foods, I try to fix things that I would enjoy and almost make it like an event instead of another meal kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yep. That totally
Yeah.
makes sense. So What's different about your habits now and your approach to food compared to before?
Different in my habits now. I fix foods to take care of me instead of fixing foods that make everybody else happy in the house. I used to fix food for everybody else and then just eat whatever they were having. And I don't do that anymore. Like, when I make spaghetti is a very popular food in our house, I will make myself something separate. I'll either do a bowl with no pasta in it, or I've discovered protein pasta and I'll use that for myself instead.
Yeah.
Um, and so, but that's okay. That's okay for me to fix something small. And meal planning has been really big for me. So like, I fixed ground turkey, a pound of ground turkey, and then I divided it up into smaller 2 to 3 ounce portions and froze them that way, so that when I was fixing myself something, I can pull that out and just heat that up for myself and adapt it to whatever or however I want to fix it. I had not done that before. And so I make sure that I'm taking care of myself food wise. Um, and they're all, my kids are teenagers and my husband is the same age as I am. If they don't like it, they could take care of themselves now. You
Yeah.
know, I'm giving myself a year for sure to take care of myself and start on the right path. There's a lot of there's a lot of undoing my knowledge of those bad habits. So I want to work on it. And I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush. I have, I have the rest of my life to do it, but I want to try to start those good habits now. And so taking care of myself is part of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what does food freedom and your weight loss journey now mean to you?
I'm not obsessing about it all the time. Like I would be eating my lunch and thinking about what I was having for dinner. And I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. And so, and also it might be because of the skills I've learned, but it also helps that I already know I'm taking care of it. I'm taking care of myself, so I don't have to worry about what's for dinner. Meal planning has been so awesome. And so I already know anyway, but I don't have to worry about what I'm going to be eating next. Enjoy what you're eating now,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
And I know we've talked a little bit about this, but how has your confidence improved and how has that impacted other areas of your life?
Uh my confidence has improved 10,000%. I really am. I have, my daughter says I'm sassy now, which I find that funny. But she's
I
like
see
in a good
it.
way. She's like, you've got sassiness. You didn't have sassiness before. And now, and I do feel a little bit sassier, you know, and not like rude sassy, but like,
Yeah. You're
I
not
feel
gonna,
good about myself. I feel good in the clothes I wear and, the choices I make. And, I don't know. I, I'm much happier now than I was when I started this journey.
amazing.
I was not a happy girl before, and I'm happier now. I
Yeah.
feel better, you know. Yeah.
Are there things you can do now that weren't possible before? Maybe like a hobby or energy levels or new
Oh,
experience?
my energy levels are so much better. They're great. They really are. Um, I'm not tired all the time. Um, and it just, mm, I was even embarrassed to go to the gym before, you know, but now I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you don't want to see a curvy girl on a treadmill. I'm not there for you, man. I'm there for me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I was always self-conscious because usually I was the biggest one there. I hate that that's the mentality of gyms. More curvy people should be there. That's what you're there to make yourself better. You're there to work on you. But again, I know it's so hard. It's so hard to feel like everybody's going to judge you. And I don't know if maybe it's that sassiness Rosemary says I have, but I don't care anymore. I'm there for me. And
Yeah.
if you don't like me working out next to you, then don't move. Go move. Go somewhere
Yeah.
else.
I love it.
I'm there for me. And
Yeah.
I try and the only person I compete with there is myself. And what yesterday Kelly did, today Kelly tries to do better, than tries to beat whatever I did yesterday.
I love that.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And what's been the biggest unexpected benefit that you've gained from this transformation?
self-confidence,
Hmm.
really.
Yeah. Everyone comes to
It was even it wasn't even something I thought I had an issue with until it got
Kelly.
better. Until it got better. And then I'm like, wow, ha- past Kelly needs a hug. You know, you know,
Yeah.
this Kelly will give her a hug,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But that was the most surprising thing.
Yeah. Everyone comes to me wanting to lose weight, but what they don't realize is that you have to kill the old version of yourself to get to where
For
you,
sure. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really about rebuilding who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm almost done with my questions, I
Uh-huh.
promise. This is not cheap at all.
No,
So what would you say to someone who's hesitant about investing in themselves through a program like this?
do it. Do it. I mean, if you really think about the big picture of where you frivolously spend your money, this isn't something that's frivolous. And you're going to make an investment in yourself. You made an investment once when you had surgery, or you imagine how much money you have spent over the years trying to lose weight on pills, shakes, programs, get lose weight quick schemes. This is nothing compared to what you've spent. And who better to invest in than yourself? I mean, it's just been such a the best investment I've ever made.
Oh,
The It really has. I mean, like it's just been the best investment I've made. It has been in myself with your program,
yeah.
really.
I'm
Hmm.
so glad to
I
hear.
will tell you, no other weight loss program have I felt like this before. Seriously,
No,
none.
no.
Yeah,
And
none.
so what advice would you give to someone who might be thinking about joining the program or maybe is watching this right now? Like what what would you say to someone that they should know about maybe whether or not this is a fit for them? Because this is not fit for everyone. So I'm curious what you would say to someone.
If you want fluff, don't come to Jessica.
Yeah.
She's not going to fluff you. She won't. What I love about Jessica and working with her and working with you, what I love is that she's flat out going to tell you she's not ugly about it. She's not ugly, but she's not here to coddle you. She's here to help you and lift you and make you stronger and believe in yourself. And that, I love that about her. I love that she's going to tell you what you need to hear, but what you need to hear is not anything that you really don't already know anyway. But sometimes you just need to hear it from somebody else, and it it's really I can't. It's just really worth it. It really
Thank
is. It has
you.
been such a game changer in me, and now I know it's time. It's time that you invest in yourself. It
Yeah.
really is. It's just time. If you're here watching this and thinking about it, you already know it's time. You already know. And so you just need to do it. Sometimes you just need to jump. You just need to do it.
Yeah. What's next for you?
I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
I'm not at my goal weight. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep my bariatric Bible nearby.
You got the
And
modules.
listen, I know that I have everything I need to be successful. I don't have an excuse now. Now that we've finished, now it's all on me. But you have given me enough skills that I have no excuse. I have no excuse.
Yeah.
Everything is there. And so I'm going to come to the reunion in 6 more months when I'm a year out and be another success story for
Yeah, I mean,
Jessica.
you
But
already are.
I'm on the right track.
This
I'm on
is
the right
this
track.
is a success interview, what we're doing right now. You are a success.
Well, thank you, but
That's what this is
I'm
called.
not done. Just because we're done, I'm not done. I'm
Yeah.
not done.
Okay, fair.
And so, but yes, I will say previously I didn't see, the finish line, although we're not ever finished, but I couldn't see it. And I see it now.
Mm,
You and I had said, we joked that I'm no longer drowning in the ocean. Now I'm the captain of my ship. And I really honestly feel like I am directing the ship. And before I could see it in the distance, I was in the ocean drowning in waves. And I am not that way anymore. I am now the captain of my ship. And that is because of this program and meeting with you. I'm not kidding with that. I am the captain of my ship. I'm standing at the helm.
yes, you are, like the
Yeah.
Titanic.
No, no way.
Oh, sorry, not like the Titan.
No.
I meant the figure on the Titan. You know what I meant.
Yes.
You're not sinking, to be
No,
clear.
I'm not.
You're not
I'm not.
sinking.
No.
I,
No, I'm Jack
that's
Sparrow. I'm
yeah, you're
steering
the
my ship.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much for your time and for doing this interview. I really appreciate it. Uh,
Thank you.
it's been a pleasure to coach you, and I can't wait to see what else you achieve.